Hello everybody and welcome back to Beards of War. Back once again at Warhammer World, and this time my Iron Warriors have returned to their traitor origins. Going to be hunting down a Shattered Legion mix of Raven Guard and Salamanders commanded by my cousin Ben. So off we go. So 2,000 points of traitor Iron Warriors laid out before you here, and we have leader of the army is this Siegebreaker with Terminator armour. It's got a combi melter, a chain fist, Nuncio Vox, wearing Cataphracti pattern Terminator armour for the bonus to the invulnerable save. His fellow HQ, it's a converted Siegebreaker here, made out of the Tank Commander set, holding his binoculars, calling down artillery strikes from orbit. Troops choices, we've got 3 of them today. 2 very similar, 10-man squads in rhinos. Both sergeants got artificer armour and melter bombs, and a power weapon each. This rhino's been upgraded to have a combi melter as well. And the 3rd troops choice is a full unit, 20 tactical marines with a Vexilla. Sergeant again, power weapon, artificer armour and melter bombs. We have 10 Tartarus pattern Terminators here, mixed bag of weapons. We've got a couple of power maces, a couple of swords, a couple of axes. 5 of them have combi plasma weapons, 2 have plasma blasters, 2 power fists, 2 thunder hammers. They'll be transported in the Spartan, which has got flare shield and armoured ceramite, and shrapnel bolts on the heavy bolter. And last but not least, a bit of heavy support, 5 Tyrant Siege Terminators with the Siege Master equipped with a chain fist. Here we have Ben's Shattered Legion force of Salamanders and Raven Guard working together to get the job done. Led by Nomus Raitan at the front here. He is the army's warlord, and because it's a Shattered Legion, if he snuffs it, that's no more scoring units for the rest of the force. We have Tylus Rubio, who's sent on a mission by Malcador the Sigillite. And finally, Siegebreaker at the front here, who's got artificer armour, melter bombers and a refractor field. Troops choices: 2 10-man squads. The Salamanders are tactical with bolt guns, and despoilers with pistols and chainswords. Sergeants have artificer armour, melter bombs and power axes, both units. To the fun stuff, the Leviathan Dreadnought at the back there with a siege drill and a power claw, both inbuilt melter guns, no phosphex on it because Salamanders can't take it, Volkites in the chest and armoured ceramite. To radio with the Anvilus pattern battery there, and Icelos missile launcher on the back. A veteran squad of 5 men with a sniper skill and a rocket launcher. 5 more Dathan, all with combi plasma. And last but not least, a unit of 5 las cannons, which will be infiltrating thanks to the Raven Guard traits. The mission we're playing this evening is Dominion, and the deployment type is hammer and anvil, so end to end. So the Dominion mission gives us 5 objectives. One just there, that side of the forest. 2nd, 3rd in the middle, 4th over in the next forest. See a pattern here. 5th, final forest there. Now I want the deployment, so my army set up first. Big unit of 20 tactical marines, hidden away in the middle is the Master of Signal. The Spartan with the Terminators inside, flanked by the other 2 tactical marine squads in their rhinos. And last but not least, my warlord on the hill there, the Siegebreaker with the 5 Tyrant Siege Terminators, and he is facing off against Salamander squad with the Apothecary, Nomus Raitan at the back there. In front of them, don't know if that's going to be Operation Meat Shield, the veterans in front. Despoiler squad infiltrating up behind the bastion, which is blocking line of sight. The Leviathan supporting them. More Dathan in this forest, and their plasma weapons aimed ready at the huge unit of tactical marines opposite, whilst making the most out of his long range. The Deredio as far away as he can be, but still in range for both the Anvilus and the Icelos. Before I forget, because they are very sneaky, very sweet and innocent looking building here. That'll be 5 las cannons hiding, ready to jump through and open fire at the rear armour of my vehicles. Oh dear. First turn's going to be night fight, and Ben's going to attempt to seize the initiative, which he does. Oh! Shattered Legions, turn 1 movement phase. Mordathan stayed still, as did the Deredio, no surprise there. The Leviathan and the Despoiler squad move forwards, eager to launch their surprise attack on the Iron Warriors, whilst Nomus Raitan and the Veteran squad and the Tactical squad hold the ground. It's worth noting that you score the victory points for holding these objectives at the start of the turn. So the Veterans there, they've got Implacable Advance, that's holding that objective, that's 1 victory point. And the Mordathan also have Implacable Advance now. So yeah, another victory point there. So Ben's on 2 victory points. And last but not least, the Heavy Support squad moved up a floor, ready in their las cannons down at the Spartan below. Shattered Legions, turn 1, shooting phase. The Deredio opened fire with its cannons, popped the Rhino, forcing the men inside out. Its missiles killed 3 of the Tactical squad opposite. The Leviathan ran forwards. The Despoilers shot a Marine down with their pistol. The Mordathan also killed a Marine opposite with their bolt gun fire. The Veterans, assisted by this Cognis Signum, shot down, or sniped apart, sorry, 2 of the Tyrant Siege Terminators. Iron Warriors, turn 1 movement phase. Spartan, move forward a little, disgorge the unit of Tartarus Terminators to try and head off the threat posed by the Leviathan and the Despoilers. The Tactical Marines that bailed out of the wrecked Rhino head backwards to take on the last cannon team. The surviving Tyrant Siege Terminators head out of the forest and down the hill to add their weight of fire to the Leviathan Dreadnought. The other Rhino moved up the hill past its dangerous terrain test. The Tactical Marines ready to hold the objective at the start of the next turn, whilst the big unit of Tactical Marines have been suspiciously still. Iron Warriors, turn 1 shooting phase. The Tactical squad that went to engage the heavy weapons unit felled 2 men, which forced them to retreat. The big Tactical squad, using the Cognis Signum, offered the Master of Signals here, used Fury of the Legion because they'd stayed still, wiped out the Mordathan unit to a man. The las cannons opened fire from the Spartan. 1 penetrating hit got through the Atomantic shield on the Leviathan, hit a vital part, which exploded, a huge explosion, which actually felled 6 of the Despoilers. The Terminators survived unscathed, and they ran instead to spread out. Whilst the unit that are holding the objective fired bolt guns down at the massive Shattered Legion in the corner and felled 1 veteran. Salamanders turn 2 movement phase. The Deredio stayed still. The Despoilers have hidden from the Terminators. Nomus Raitan's unit have moved out to try and give them clear line of fire at the Terminators behind the Bastion. And Malkador the Sigilite's envoy hasn't showed up yet. Shattered Legion, turn 2 shooting phase. The Deredio opened fire with all of its weapons, but only felled 1 Marine through the trees. Nomus Raitan's unit opened fire with bolt guns, felled 1 Tartarus Pattern Terminator, and combined weapons from orbital bombardment from the Master of Signal and sniper fire from the Veterans completely and utterly wiped out the Tactical squad, took 2 hull points off the Rhino and also immobilised it. Iron Warriors, turn 2 movement phase. The Tactical squad continue their hunt for the heavy weapon unit hiding in the building. The big unit of Tactical Marines stumbled forward a mighty 2 inches, but that's meant they could hold on to the objective again, whilst the Master of Signal has stayed still, sending communications up into orbit. Spartan has rolled forward, eyeing up its 2nd Dreadnought target. The Tartarus Pattern Terminators play the game of cat and mouse with the Despoilers, moving around the edges of the Bastion, and the Tyrant Siege Terminators move forward towards the Veterans, eager to avenge their brother Marines that were slain last turn. Iron Warriors turn 2 shooting phase. The Iron Warriors master of signal dropped a shell from orbit, targeting Nomus Raitan's unit, but seemed to scatter. Bit of a comms interference onto his counterpart in the Raven Guard. Took 8 wounds for the unit, which he tanked all on his artificer armour, all saved. The Spartan's las cannons opened fire over at the Deredio. One shot passed through its adamantic shielding, which immobilised it. The Rhino, the crew inside, fixed the engine, healed its immobilised result. The tactical squad, not being able to see anything, ran closer, put them in a better standing to attack the heavy weapons unit next turn. The Tartarus pattern Terminators holding fire, preferring to head into combat shortly. Iron Warriors turn to assault phase. The Tartarus pattern Terminator unit pile drive into the despoilers, wiping them out to a man, and then inching ever so slightly closer to the rest of the Shattered Legionnaires. Shattered Legions turn 3 movement phase. The support unit moved higher away from the Iron Warriors tactical squad. Nomus Raitan's unit holds the ground, readies their bolt guns to fury, and Ben has scored another victory point for holding the objective, and once again no tireless Rubio. Shattered Legion turn 3 shooting phase. The Deredio opened fire with all of its weapon batteries, pushing the tactical marines back off the objective, which will stop me from scoring next turn. The veteran Raven Guard and the heavy support Raven Guard with their las cannons spotted the exposed warlord, opened fire but caused no damage, whilst Nomus Raitan's unit, with aid from the master of the signals Cognis Signum, used their Fury of the Legion attacks, opened fire, felled 2 Terminators. Iron Warriors turn 3 movement phase. The Spartan moves closer towards the Deredio, still keeping its las cannons trained. The big tactical squad consolidates back onto the objective after it's lost his last turn. The smaller tactical squad scales the building, eager to get to the heavy support unit. The Tyrant Siege Terminators and the Siegebreaker Warlord move close to the veterans, with the Tartarus pattern Terminators eager to take Nomus Raitan's head. Iron Warriors turn 3 shooting phase. The Spartan struck another hull point off the Deredio and stunned it. Tartarus pattern Terminators opened fire with all their plasma, felled 3 of the Salamanders. They're fearless because of Nomus Raitan, whilst the Siegebreakers opened fire over at the veterans, felled 1 of their number, and the marines in the distance threw a grenade up, caused no damage. Iron Warriors turn 3 assault phase. The Tartarus pattern Terminators charged in to Nomus Raitan's unit, wiped them out, but the old man holds firm with his fearless, striking down 2 in return. Whilst up in the building, only 2 Iron Warriors can reach the top floor. They fight to a stalemate. Shattered Legion turn 4 movement phase. The veteran unit still holding the objective, giving Ben another victory point. Currently 5 victory points to the Shattered Legions, 3 to the Iron Warriors, and tireless Rubio finally makes his appearance, heading towards the survivors of the big unit holding the objective in the forest. Shattered Legions turn 4 shooting phase. The shaken Deredio opened fire, scored 3 hits, but these pattered off their armour. Rubio opened fire with his artisan bolt gun, fell in 1 of the marines. He's also cast Prescience on himself in the previous psychic phase. And that was it for the shooting phase. Shattered Legion turn 4 assault phase. Nomus Raitan smites 1 of the Tartarus Terminators, but in return they all gang up on him with instant death weapons. Mind you, he ignores that anyway because of his cloak. But 3 failed invulnerable saves later and he gets smashed asunder. They move closer, trying to take the objective off the veteran unit. Whilst up in the building, another stalemate with no casualties on either side. Iron Warriors turn 4 movement phase. The Tyrant Siege Terminators try and seize the target off the Spartan here, trying to get the kill steal. Tartarus Terminators move into the forest to engage the veterans and wipe them off the objective, whilst the big tactical squad, the survivors that is, turn and face down the envoy of Malkador. Iron Warriors turn 4 shooting phase. The Spartan finally finishes off the Deredio in a welt of flame. None of the veterans are felled by the storm of bolt gun and rockets unleashed by the Terminators. And the tactical squad, befuddled by the magics surrounding Rubio, fail to even hit him. Iron Warriors turn 4 assault phase. Tartarus pattern Terminators charged in, killed the Master of Signal, one of the veterans. The sergeant struck back, did no damage, ran away, but because of the Tartarus pattern Terminator armour being lighter weight, they managed to chase him down and consolidate back onto the objective. The fight that will not end has not ended, and my Master of Signal challenged Rubio, slapped each other silly. Master of Signal took a wound, but Iron Warriors fighting dirty. The sergeant, hacking away with his power axe, took a wound off Rubio as well. So a wound each, drawn combat there. Shattered Legion, entirety of turn 5, came down to Rubio, who cursed my unit so that all attacks against them were rending, but then proceeded to do no damage, and in return was beaten down by the unit, walking away from his shattered corpse back to their objective. Whilst finally a bit of action up in the building here, a wound each, traded, 2 dead Marines, which has allowed the sergeant to move up, but both units are still stuck in combat. Iron Warriors turn 5, start the turn. Terminators with implacable advance score 1 victory point there. Second tactical squad with a victory point here. So it's now currently 5 victory points to the Shattered Legions, 6 to the Iron Warriors. And then into the combat, the sergeant mopped up another one, but the enemy sergeant here holds his ground. So it's now the end of the 5th turn. Another 4+ will go on to a 6th and final turn. Ooh, excited dice. So yeah, one final turn. Shattered Legions turn 6. The only thing that Ben has left is the heavy weapon sergeant. Once again, fight each other to a stalemate. Iron Warriors turn 6, and you've probably seen this picture before by now. Once again, Tartarus Terminators just standing around holding an objective. Same with the Tactical Marines down here, gives me another 2 victory points, puts it on 5 to the Shattered Legions, 8 to the Iron Warriors. And in the final fight, literally nothing happened again. That's been probably the most boring fight of the entire game. So, that's it, end of the game. Let's see how those scores are looking. So here we are at the end of the game. The Iron Warriors strongly hold the centre of the board, with only 1 Raven Guard of the Shattered Legions left alive. Scores currently are 5-8 in my favour. However, I slayed the enemy warlord, who was known as Raitan, which is worth D3 victory points. That's another 3, puts me on 11. And also, I destroyed more enemy units, so that gives me attrition, which is worth another D3. Another 2 gives me a score of 13. And it's worth noting that Tylos Rubio's objective for his Knights Errant was to keep Nomus Raitan alive, and unfortunately that was failed. So the final score at the end of the game, 5 victory points to the Shattered Legions, 13 to the Iron Warriors.